one of the medical episodes was that Chubby, who's a crime partner, and the guy who had originally been Ray Price's musical director, and he knew everybody in the fucking business. One of the most gregarious, warm, funny human beings I've ever known. And he and I used to travel together quite a bit. Long journeys from San Francisco to Dallas or East Texas, where his parents lived, or joining a tour in progress. And he knew all the jazz musicians in the world. He knew all the country musicians in the world. He knew everybody. Everybody knew him and loved him. So it was really great to travel with him because the outlook of things was just so bright. And he got into kidney failure, and he had to go in and have a dialysis treatment, 2 or 3 times a week. And you go in and they take all your blood and they pump it through a filter and put it back in you. Man, it's sort of a nuisance. And when the alternative became preferable to the nuisance, people say, "Oh God, this is a lot of trouble to go in there." And he says, "Yeah, but consider the alternative." And the alternative is that you die. And when the alternative becomes more attractive than going in for this week's dialysis treatment, you're essentially committing suicide. But he did it at home, and everybody was with him, and it was all cool. So that was my experience with dialysis machines. Then another, I'm trying to think, it's 2 different guys, Steve Schneck and John Stevens, had really bad lung cancer and shot themselves. So I've known a few suicides. The idea, well, it's always been understood in the medical profession that there's a exit strategy, usually consisting of being in the hospice and, getting so boxed that it's easy to go on out. But these are people who have really, really terminal illnesses. I mean, that's, when somebody is depressed or has multiple sclerosis or, things that people live with without too much trouble, if they just set themselves up to do it, then under the circumstances where somebody has a brain cancer that's just completely, it's futile to go in there and fuck with it because it's all over. You've done all the radiation, you've done all that shit, and they're going to die anyway. So you have them in the hospital, and under those circumstances, there comes a time when the doctor is, in effect, pulling the plug. And it's always somebody that he knows real well and feels bad that he has to go, but he has to go, and blah, blah, blah. But to make a law where they can make it a part of the medical profession to prescribe poison to somebody goes against all reality. So that assisted suicide at that level of legislation is just absurd. We already have cases of suicide tourists going to Switzerland to get offed. So that's, if people want to do that, it's okay. But to legislate about it is, which Oregon does, is crazy. puts the doctor in a weird position, threatens people who have are regarded as not having enough quality of life to keep them alive. In Texas, it's called the doctrine of futile care. So that somebody has to decide this person has no chance whatsoever. Anything that we do to, for, or with them is futile. And that's a weird one.